Athletic.
I didn't see other one. Probably what was
Just between that and.
Oh, I think she has one.
Charlene, Ronnie,
Oh, it's Ronnie's.
Ronnie's wife. She was in cardiac arrest this morning. So they just it's 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to call the public hearing meeting to order. And if you would, as I generally do, please stand with me for a word of prayer, and then we'll get started. Tell God our fathers once again that we bow in our presence, just taking a moment to say thank you. Thank you for all the good and perfect gifts thou bestowed upon us. Our Father, we thank you for life, health, and strength. We thank you for everything that you've done for us. And our Father, we thank you for everything that you're going to do for us in the future. Our Father, we ask that you come and join this meeting, that we may do the business of the county, and we may do what's right in your sight. Mm-hmm. Our Father, we pray for this entire world. We pray for the ones that I'm due to pray for. And our Father, will be so careful to give you all the praise and glory. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. Amen. Welcome, Mr. Andy, Mr. Chairman, so I'm ready. Okay. At this time, I will call the September Madison County Planning and Zoning public hearing to order and welcome everyone in attendance. My name is Canola Scott. I am the chairman of the Madison County Planning and Zoning, appointed by the chairman of the Board of Commissioners. At this time, I'll ask the members of the board to introduce themselves and to tell what district they represent. Starting to my left, Stephanie.
Stephanie Hardman, District 3.
Good evening, Bruce Gandy, District 5.
Cynthia Fortson, I am appointed by the committee.
Kenneth Bradley, District 1.
William Smith, District 4.
And we're missing Lee Mitchell tonight. He has sickness in his family, so we pray that everything goes well with him. And of course, our zoning administrator,
Tracy Patrick.
Tracy Patrick. Any statements or announcements regarding members of the commission? And Mr. Lee is absent because of, like I said, sickness. As the first order of business this evening, I'm required to read a few statements regarding the zoning process. So if you have any questions after I finish, please raise your hand and I will try to answer them. Zoning directly affects private property rights. These include the rights of property owners to the enjoyment and the use of their property, and the right of adjacent property owners and the general public not to be unreasonably harmed by specific land use. The comprehensive plan for the land use of Madison County is a publication which is revised when appropriate by citizens of Madison County to provide our elected officials with tools to manage and guide the future growth development of the county. Tonight is the first of 2 public hearings that will be held. A second public hearing before the Madison County Board of Commissioners will be held at this location on October 2nd. Right here on October 2nd at 6 p.m. Attendance by the applicant or their representative is not required at this public hearing, but your attendance is encouraged in case questions come up that I may not be able to answer. The order of business. As to the order of business tonight, first I will introduce the applicant, and then the zoning administrator will give her comments. Then the applicant or their authorized agent will come forward, state their name and address, and sign in. Then state the reasons for their request. You may provide any information or documentation supporting the application. Next, the planning and zoning members will have the opportunity to ask the applicant questions to clarify their understanding of issues relating to the application. Afterwards, I will open the floor for public comment in support of or in opposition to the request. We're required by law to allow at least 10 minutes on either side for both comments. Anyone who deserves to speak will be given ample time to express their support or opposition to the request. However, we ask that you be brief as possible and not be repetitive in your comments. After those have had the opportunity to speak, the applicant will be invited back to the podium to rebut any negative comments and answer any questions expressed by other speakers. Once the applicant has finished, the public hearing is then closed, and I will open a special session of the Planning and Zoning Commission. At this time, no further comments will be allowed by the public unless a person has asked a question by the member of the commission. The commission will then proceed to vote to recommend approval or denial of the applicant's request. The recommendation will be presented Monday night, October 2nd, to the Madison County Board of Commissioners. The Madison County Planning and Zoning Commission is a recommending body only. And I'll repeat that. The Madison County Planning and Zoning Commission is a recommending body only, consisting of concerned citizens who are appointed to 4-year terms by county commissioners. We are a fact-finding body that visits the properties under consideration, review the information associated with the applicants, consider public comment raised during the public hearing, and within the guidelines of the comprehensive plan and other land use ordinances, make recommendations to the Board of Commissioners regarding these applications. The final binding decision on each request will be made by the Madison County Board of Commissioners at its meeting on Monday night, October the 2nd. All right, does any member need to recuse themselves for any of a request on the agenda tonight? Okay, I will recuse myself from item number 2. I will not be voting on item number 2 simply because we're relatives. So I will recuse myself from that particular one. All right, number 1, Sonny Dismore, applicant for his wife, Rebecca Dismore. Mr. Dismore, you present? Yes. Please come forward and Ms. Tracy.
Okay, first up, Sonny Dinsmore, applicant for his wife, Rebecca Dinsmore, is requesting to rezone a 4-acre portion of her 14.65 acres from A1 to AR to allow it to be split off for a home site for their daughter and to rezone the remaining 10.65 acres from A1 to A2 to bring it into conformity with current zoning regulations. Property is located at 0 Highway 106 North in Danielsville on map 37, parcel 3-01 in District 2.
All right, Mr. Dismore, if you please tell us what you want.
Well, Tracy pretty much already said it. We're trying to, I thought it was 2 acres, and when I called, it changed to 4 acres for a house. So we're cutting the 4 acres out so my daughter can put a house there.
All right, is that all? All right, is there any members of the board at this point like to ask Mr. Dinsmore any questions? Hearing none? All right, we'll open the public hearing. Is there anybody here that would like to speak for this rezone request? Anybody here would like to speak in favor of this rezone request? Hearing none, is there anybody here that wants to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. Thank you, Mr. Dinsmore.
Thank you.
And bring it back to the board for a motion to approve, a motion to deny, or any comments that you may have.
I make a motion to approve.
A motion, Stephanie, to approve. Second, sir. Second by Mr. Gandy. Any questions, any comments? Any additions? If not, we will proceed to vote. Stephanie?
Yes.
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 All right, Mr. Dinsmore. This is approved. We will recommend to the Board of Commissioners that they approve. Again, as I read the statement, you're welcome to come to the second meeting. You don't have to, but there may be questions that I can't answer that they may need. That'll be October 2nd. Okay, number 2, Sandra Miller. Ms. Tracy.
Okay, first, Sandra Miller is requesting to rezone her 28.35 acres from A1 to AR to allow the property to be divided in 4 parcels. And we had originally thought those parcel sizes was 4.027, 8.036, 4.009, and 13.19 acres for inheritance purposes. But that was actually changed. Those sizes went, the tract 1 went to 4 acres, tract 2 went to 6, tract 3 went to 4, and tract 4 went to 13.48. And this property is located at 3954 Highway 106 North in Danielsville on map 36, parcel 54 in District 2.
All right, before we get started, I think most of you got the email, but you do have the new plat at hand, so that you can see that it did change when it was emailed to us earlier in the day. Ms. Miller, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Tell us what you need.
We need the 4 parcels divided up for inheritance purposes, so our elderly parents would not have to be struggling to pay the taxes. Then that way we all could take on the bill of ourselves.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Do we have any questions for Sandra at this time? If not, I'll close I will open the public hearing and ask if there's anybody here that wants to speak in favor of this rezone request. Anybody want to speak in favor?
Speak in favor.
Come forward. State your name and tell us what you want us to know.
My name is Gerald Lumpkin. I've been old. I am grandson of the family. As she stated, I wanted to. I'm sorry, Gerald Lumpkin.
Lumpkin.
Lumpkin. Yes,
Thank you.
just want to speak in favor of it, so we can, divide the land up so it can be the responsibility of the children and the grandchildren to take care of those taxes and other things for them. So I just wanted to give my input on that.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Anyone else want to speak in favor? If not, is there anyone who wants to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for a vote to approve. to disapprove or to approve with conditions?
I did have one question.
Okay.
And I know Q Public can be a little bit deceiving. It looks as if the original parcel was across Tabor Chapel Road as well.
Yes.
How is that represented on this site plan?
There's a little bit of a backstory to that, if I may. Or if you, we had with the surveyor earlier today. Is it okay with permission?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
All right, the surveyor had, originally did a site plan that included a tract 5. And, his argument was since the road split it, it should be its own tract. And I told him that, our county attorney has advised that that's not the case. If a road splits it, it's still the same parcel. So he opted to leave that part off, but to add that acreage into that 4th parcel. I don't,
So that's part of the 13.4.
it is.
48 acres.
Just don't have it drawn out like that. And it was, he was pretty strong-tempered about it, but we come to a resolve that we had.
No, I'm not trying to, I want to make sure that you're not losing land. I mean, basically, at the end of the day, I understand splitting up for tax purposes, but, I mean, that is a portion of the property that's not represented with this site plan.
So attorney, with that not being on this, is that making any difference at all? There is a portion across the road, Tabor Chapel Church Road. It's just a small portion, but there's a portion.
Okay, so the current lot of record includes the part across the road.
Yeah, he, instead of just drawing that in, he just added that acreage that was over there on here, which the same thing, he just didn't include the drawing. He was saying something about, as a surveyor, he couldn't do it that way. We had a long discussion about it.
And what is it I said in the notes?
Previous administrator used to say if a road split a parcel, it was 2 different parcels. And then you had advised that that's not the case if a road split, but it's still the same parcel. When I first took over.
Okay. That's kind of going to depend on context and facts of each situation, so I don't know.
Okay.
So, but what I'm trying to figure out is, so, there's 4, 6, 4, let's see. So are you saying the 13.4 acres is not encompassed in what's shown here?
Right.
It is, but it's like a 1.28 acre part that goes across the road that's just not drawn on there, but the acreage is put on tract 4, which it would have been there anyway. It's part of that parcel.
Tract 4.
So we could go back
Tract
and
4, which is
survey.
the 13.48 acres. There's about 1.5 acres on the
Well, I
other
tell
side
you
of the road.
what, here's the thing, this is a rezone, so we're rezoning this whole parcel, right, including what's
Correct.
across the road. So this can be worked out, you know, for the recording of the plat, which would happen after the rezone anyway.
Right.
I need more facts, and then I can get right here to figure this out.
Okay. So we'll just go ahead and vote on it, as a rezone.
Yeah, you're not voting on the site plan, you're voting on the rezone.
Okay. All right. No one in opposition? Okay. Thank you, Matt. Bring it back to the board for a, for a vote to approve with conditions, or to disapprove.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to move we approve as presented.
Okay, we have a motion by Bruce and a second by Cynthia that we approve, this rezone request as presented. Any questions, any comments, any additional? All right, Bruce?
Yes.
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 I'm sorry, I recuse myself. I can't vote.
Yes.
All right. Now, unanimous decision here that, so, again, we are a recommending body. We will recommend to the Board of Commissioners that this be approved. I would suggest that somebody or a representative be at the second meeting. I understand that you live out of state, but there's a lot of you all that live close by. So somebody needs to come as a representative to be at that meeting on October 2nd. All right? Moving on, number 3, Jerome Stratton Jr., applicant for his wife, Jessica Stratton. Stratton, okay, Tracy?
Okay, they are requesting to rezone her 8.95 acres from A1 to A2 to allow an unequal land swap with his uncle of 3.5 acres for 6.43 acres with adjoining parcel 74-158, creating a total lot of 11.88 acres. Property is located at 275 Little Light Trail in Royston on map 74, parcel 16 in District 4.
All right, Mr. Stratton?
Yes, sir. The main reason for it is I'll now own the legal easement to my land. I can put a gate up in the front entrance. And the other is, it's the only piece of land that I'm going to get from my uncle that's semi-flat in that area. It's real rocky and hilly and mountainous. It's on the far north side of Madison County. And I want to build a pole barn on it. And I can't do that on the land I got. So that's the reason.
All right, any questions for Mr. Stratton? I do apologize, am I pronouncing that right?
Yes, sir, you got it right.
Okay, all right. Any questions?
What track do you own?
He owns it's 8.95, but he is giving his uncle 3.5 acres of it, and his uncle's giving him 6.43. So he's gonna combine the 8.95 minus the 3.5 and then add in the 6.43. So it's an unequal land swap, but the end result will be 11.88 acres.
He owns track 1.
I think he on track 1 and 4 to start with, Tracy.
Yes, that's right.
1 and 4.
1 and 4.
He's swapping 4 and 3, he's swapping 4 and 3.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Oh.
It's a little confusing.
Yeah. Any other questions? Or does that satisfy you, Cynthia?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here that wants to speak for this rezone request? Hearing none, is there anyone here who wants to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the commission, and for any questions or entertain a motion to approve conditions or deny.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve.
No second.
Motion by Tibbetts. And motion, second by Mr. Smith. Any questions? We ready to vote? Cynthia?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, Mr. Stratton. Again, October 2nd. Commissioner B, right here. Mm-hmm.
We did 3 and 4 together.
And he's actually the applicant for the next one for his uncle.
He come back up.
Come on back up.
Do you like me to
Yes.
read it? Okay. So Jerome Stratton Jr., applicant for his uncle Jeff Stratton, is requesting to rezone a 6.43 acre portion from A1 to A2 to allow the unequal land swap with his nephew of 6.43 acres for 3.5 acres, with adjoining parcel 7416, creating a total of 36.19 acres, which will stay in the A1 zone. Property is located at 49 Little Light Trail in Royston on map 74, parcel 158 and District 4.
So actually, this is just the second part of what we just
Correct.
heard. So,
Just rezoning his tract to do that.
yeah, we had to rezone both tracks to do that. Does anyone here want to speak for this rezone request? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Not, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back for a vote. And I move that this request be approved as presented.
I'll second.
Okay.
That was
Motion by me, second by Kenneth.
okay.
All right. Kenneth?
Yes.
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 That is approved. All right, I guess we'll finish it.
All right, thank you.
Number 5, Kenneth Branyan.
Okay.
Mr. Branyan? Ms. Tracy, if you would.
All right. Mr. Kenneth Branyan is requesting to rezone his 7.75 acres from A2 to AR to allow a 1.394 acre split to be sold to the adjoining property owner, which is map H1, parcel 107A, to straighten up property lines and for the desired wooded area, leaving a balance of 6.356 acres. Property is located at 205 Charlie Bolton Road in Hull on map H1, parcel 107 in District 3.
Right, yes, sir.
I was requesting permission to get it so I can sell it because it's more advantageous for Mr. Dumont and he wants the other land and I really don't have any, I really have a limited access to it. I have access to it, but I have limited. And he requested to see if I would sell it to him.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing gonna be built on it or anything for further use. He just wants the other land because it has a little bit of small firewood on it. He wants to cut the firewood off of it because he burns wood a lot.
And so both of these pieces of property will be AR once it's done.
Yes, sir.
So you want?
Is this before or after the 4 acres?
The question is, so the audience will understand it, this is prior to the change in zoning where.
Well,
Is that
they're
right?
kind of swapping it out, so they're absorbing and not creating a new tract. That's the only reason this was allowed, because they're absorbing, and in order to absorb, it has to be the same zone. So that's why it's able to do that. And he will have, Mr. Branyan will have 6.356 acres, and then Mr. Dumont, which is our next one up, will be the 2.544. And that was before
Right.
it was before that was the application was taken before the May 1st date.
But even if it had been, because it's a land swap,
Right.
it would not have come into effect. Is that correct?
Well, it would have, because you'd be creating a new lot.
Okay.
But it come in before the May 1st date.
Right. Any further questions for Mr. Brandon? If not, we'll open the public hearing. If anyone here wants to speak in favor of this land swap or this rezone request?
I'll speak in favor of it.
Please come forward, state your name, and tell us what you want us to know.
I'm Mike Dumont. I'm the one purchasing the 1.3 whatever acres. I'm just using it as a buffer. That's all I want it for, is just a buffer. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? You might want to stand there. You might want to stand there. Anyone else want to speak in favor of? Is there anyone here that wants to speak in opposition to this? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, bring it back to the board for any question that you may have and entertain a motion to approve or disapprove.
I make a motion to approve.
A motion by Cynthia to approve,
Second.
second by Stephanie. Any further questions or discussion? If not, Kenneth?
Yes.
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 All right.
And they may want to stay up here. 'cause
They
the
do.
next one-
Please stay. Yeah. Number 6.
Okay. Kenneth Branyan, applicant for his neighbor Mike Dumont, is requesting to rezone his 1.15 acres from A2 to AR to allow him to absorb 1.394 acres from adjoining property H1 107, to straighten up property lines and to acquire desired wooded area for a total of 2.544 acres. The property is located at 180 Charlie Bolton Road on map H1 parcel 107A in District 3.
It's Charlie Bolton Lane.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Our map was, Keith Hubble was saying road.
No, it's lane.
Okay.
Whenever I built my house, they had to name it, so that's what that means.
Okay. I'll correct that.
All right. Any additional comments or any questions for these gentlemen? Not, we'll
I'm
open.
sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
AR means I can put chickens and stuff out there, and pigs, and if it was A1, I could put
Now,
any.
I don't know about pigs now.
You just can't have any confined. You can have a pig, but it's not confined feeding wise. They
So
want
you can't let one loose.
like a few pigs, a few farm animals are fine, but not, you know, a chicken house or anything like that.
You have to be an A1 or A2 to do that, but you are allowed to have a few.
Okay, yeah.
Okay? All right. Okay. Did I go through the public hearing?
I don't think so.
All right. Now open the public hearing. Is anyone wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Not, bring it back to the board to entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
A motion by Stephanie to approve, second by Cynthia. Any questions or comments from the board? If not, we'll vote. Yes.
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 All right, gentlemen, that is approved. We'll see you on October 2nd.
Thank you very much.
All right, number 7, Tanya Martin. Applicant for Michael and Kip Martin and Misty Huff.
Okay. She is requesting to rezone an 11-acre portion of the 48.04 acres from A1 to A2 to allow 11 acres with an existing home to be split off for a sibling. The remaining 37.04 acres will stay in the A1 zone. The property is located at 1910 Lim Edwards Road in Calvert on map 47, parcel 87 in District 5.
All right, Ms. Martin?
We just want to cut the 11 acres off that, his sister's living on, so it'll be hers.
And it also will be hers. All right? Any questions?
Is there access to the back of the 11 acres?
She has an easeway that she owns that comes in off of, what's that other road? McCurley Road. She's already got her easement and everything.
All right.
Any further questions? If not, we will open the public hearing. Is there anybody here that wants to speak in favor? Anybody want to speak in favor of this rezone request? Hearing none, anybody want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for a motion to approve or disapprove and any other further comments you may have.
I'll make a motion to approve.
A motion by Kenneth,
I'll second.
second by Smith. Any further comments or questions? We're ready to vote. Smith?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, ma'am, we will recommend approval. Again, we'll meet on October 2nd with the commissioners, and they have the final say.
Okay.
Number 8, Katie Barber, applicant for her grandfather, Billy Henson.
Okay, and she is requesting to rezone his 3.05 acres from A1 to R1 to bring the non-conforming property into compliance and to allow for a 1.5 acre split to give his granddaughter, which is Katie, to build a home on. The property is located at 3311 Adams Park Road in Danielsville on map 13, parcel 14A in District 1.
All right, Ms. Barber?
Ms. Tracy warned me this was very risky because of R1 being only mostly subdivision. But my papa doesn't have any other use for the land, and he offered it to me and my husband if we could get the rezone done. So we are hoping that we could build a home on that 1.5.
Okay. All right, any questions for the board before we open the public hearing?
Yeah, what structures are on the land right now?
There is a trailer on the land and then a storage trailer on the land, but we are planning to remove the storage upon approval. If it's approved by the board, then we'll have that removed within 30 days.
Thank you.
Is that the trailer and did you say there was 2 structures on the
There
property?
is. One is a mobile home that's being resided in, and then the other is a storage.
So somebody resides in
Yes, sir.
the mobile home?
Yes, sir.
So they're gonna split this as separate parcels.
Split in half. So
They're separate.
one will be a vacant lot and the other will have a home that's already there.
Right, we were hoping, since it's not in compliance with the county now, that would be pretty much the only way to get it into compliance with the county with the new regulations. So we were hoping that would
Would
help.
you be purchasing this, or would this be a rental property?
We'll be purchasing that. Yes, ma'am. We plan to primarily reside there, so it's not going to be used for anything, but,
But it's still non-conforming.
So you don't
No,
need,
it actually will bring it into compliance.
Well, I mean,
Due to the acreage.
If she's separate, if she's separate, 2 parcels?
Yeah, because
This
right
is-
now.
This is not AR,
she's
it's R1.
A1.
Oh, I don't.
It's R1.
This is like
She's non-conforming, lawfully non-conforming A1 at 3.05 acres.
Right.
So the next step down.
you don't live in the existing home right now.
no.
And your grandfather does not as well,
No,
correct?
she does not. Miss Jane lives on it right now. She was my cousin Rodney's wife. Yes. But I just don't know how that works with her having, she owns the trailer, but he owns the land. So that's how.
Not trying to get into personal business, I was
That's
just paying
okay.
attention to where the tax bill was mailed, and
Yeah.
it looked like it was not a primary residence.
Yes, sir.
So therefore,
Just to make everything very clear to everybody, that this is the first R1 that we've had since the change in the county ordinance. And the character area as far as the comprehensive plan, is totally against it. But, as I said before, we need to take each and every one as stand on its own merit. And one of the things that I saw, and in my opinion, first, one of the things that I saw is that right now, within a mile, there's already a bunch of houses, right? Right where this rezone request is being requested. Even though it's out of character with what the comprehensive plan says, to me, it's kind of in character with what's already there. So that's something that we must consider. So that's my little bit. So I'll open it up for the board to talk to.
I would ask that we open the public hearing first before we make discussion on the board.
Okay. All right. That'll be fine. Anything else you want to tell us before I open the public hearing?
I was just going to say, we were living in Commerce. We currently reside with my mother right now. We're waiting on the approval or denial of the land. But we really do love the area, and that's what we were hoping. Right now, with our budget, we can't afford to buy like a large tract of land with the 4 acres in the house. So we were hoping this would be a way to keep us in the area because I teach at the school, and that's why I'm in my pajamas today, because it's pajama day. But we're trying to be active members of the community, so we don't want Madison County to become more developed. We just want to be able to reside in Madison County in a way we can afford at the moment.
All right. Thank you. We will open the public hearing now. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Hearing none, is there anyone here who wants to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Anyone in opposition? Hearing none, we'll bring it back to the board for further discussion and a motion to approve or disapprove with conditions or whatever.
I make a
Mr.
motion.
Candy. Mr. Candy has a question.
Well, I just got a few comments, Mr. Chairman, if I might.
Sure.
One of our basic rights as a U.S. citizen is the right to own private property. Any restriction of that right to do whatever that landowner wants to do with their property must be fully justified. With that promise in mind, though, we have the Planning and Zoning Commission must abide by the regulations and ordinances of Madison County in performing our duties. We must consider principally the new comprehensive plan, which the chairman has already referred to, which contains a vision which was approved by all the citizens in the county. And that vision focuses on the desire to maintain the rural and natural qualities by preserving agriculture and environmental resources. Industry, business growth, infrastructure, and residential development should be directed to cities or other planned development. So we have a case here where, looking at the detail of these ordinances, which are the right of the homeowner and the right of the county, are kind of an impasse here. If we look in more detail at the county ordinance, there are laws that empower your elected officials to limit what landowners may do with their land. So the Planning and Zoning Commission has a hard judgment weighing the general welfare of the county, the people in the county, and the comprehensive plan, and the zoning ordinances, which regulate the general welfare. So any exception to that comprehensive plan or those regulations has to be very well justified. It must be fully justified. So what we have is we have a case here where, as the chairman pointed out, we have the criteria which we have to evaluate when making judgments on whether or not to do this. Under the ordinances, in addition to comprehensive ordinances have the guidance for us. Under ordinance 14.2.4.1, existing land use pattern in the area should be considered. Now, as I think we pointed out, like in the in the mile on Adams Clark Road heading to your residence, counted 13 homes within that space. So there's a lot of residential that's already into place. There are also there are substantial reasons why the property cannot be used in accordance with the existing zoning, which is A1, which is our primary agricultural zone. And it's now residential. And you're looking to do a residential, but you can't do that with the present zoning, so that's why you're here to change that. The third point that we need to look at is the proposed rezone in keeping with the neighborhood and the capacity of the road which you're on, which is a small 2-lane country road. It would be very difficult to do any expansion of that road. I don't think that one more house from that whole line of, for example, 13 in a mile will make much difference. So it won't be overtaxing the infrastructure, which is one of the criteria I have to look at. So finally, the relative gains to the public by strict adherence to the comprehensive plan compared to the hardship imposed on a homeowner in this case, I think justifies making an exception in this one case. And we must be careful about that. So at that point, I'm looking for maybe a motion.
Okay, before we make a motion, is there any other comments, any other? I'd like to hear from the rest of the board members. Devin's gonna make a
I'm
motion.
gonna make a motion.
Devin's gonna make a motion. Before she does, if there's anything else that any of you want to say, give me the opportunity to do that.
I'll echo Bruce's sentiments on this. I think we do have to be very careful, and you were very articulate in the manner in which you laid that out. I think the challenge that we do look at this is going to create a smaller lot size compared to the lots, and I think that is a challenge when you look at those 13 residences. We're going down to a true residential, which is our subdivision classification as far as the size of the lot, not what was an RR, which is now an AR. So I don't want this to be punitive, and I definitely, the challenge personally that I have with this is when we have these things and they're going to continue, when we have a business or an industry, I want to be as consistent with those as I am in these. So that's my comment on that.
All right. Everyone else? Stephanie?
I would like to make a motion to approve this rezone with a condition. I know that there's some code enforcement stuff, that you come into compliance with code enforcement and the court requirements.
Would that be prior to October 2nd?
Or whatever the court has told you.
So
as far as I know, it has to be before the approval from the VSC, which is October 2nd.
We have a motion on the floor. We have a second.
Just for the sake of minutes, so with the condition that the property be brought into compliance.
With code enforcement, I've done a little research that there's some permitting with that home. I think it's with the mobile home that has to be taken off.
Right.
So as long as it comes into compliance with code enforcement.
Do we have a motion?
Second, sir.
A motion by Stephanie, second by Bruce. For approval? I believe it's you, Stephanie.
Can we have discussion on
Yes.
that?
Is there any more discussion?
So I echo a lot of what you said. If you take into consideration and refer to this analysis based on approved standards that we discussed at the last meeting, I don't believe that this property will change the usage of the land. we are taking away one mobile home and putting another one there. So in the end, you're left with two structures. That's what you started with. I also did the research. There are 13 3-acre, 2-acre, and 1-acre parcels within a mile and a half from this parcel. And there's also about 15 homes that in the past 3 years have been or are going to be built in this area. So I understand that the comp plan is in an ag area, but it comes down to, is it going to change the usage?
Right.
And for me, it's not, because there is an adjacent property across the street, 60 acres. If you were to split that 60 acres into 4-acre lots, which is can be done legally under the new regulations, it would actually make a more significant change than this one home to me.
That would have to go through subdivision regulations in order for that to happen. You can't take a 60-acre parcel and subdivide it into 4-acre tracts. When you go above 4 divisions of property,
yes,
you
but
fall
it
into a
doesn't
subdivision
even
regulation.
have to be 4-acre lots. Like that can
3
be,
splits then. Okay.
yeah, it can be 3 splits, and that still would make more of a significant change to the area than this one.
Also require a rezone, it's on day one, if it's the one I'm looking at here. Okay.
That is mine.
Anyone else? We'll open a second and vote on these.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Okay, it was 4-1. The vote is 4-1. We will recommend 5. And we will recommend.
Yourself.
We will recommend to the commissioner that this be approved. The final say is theirs. I suggest that you be here on October 2nd.
I will be out of town, but
Have a representative.
yes, I'm gonna try to drag my papa here. He's 81, so I'm trying to get somebody to bring him. But if not, is there any way I can attend virtually if he cannot attend?
You may need to speak with our county clerk, and she could advise you on that.
I'm hoping he'll be here, but I just want to make sure if he's not able to, then he forgot the last time. So
Please don't forget.
yes, sir. I won't. But
Well, figure out a way that he can have someone here.
okay.
Either virtually works, and I can't say to that, or your husband, or somebody that's a close relative that knows the situation.
Yes, sir.
That will be able to answer questions, because I'm sure that the commissioners will have quite a few questions, because this is the first.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, last one for the evening, number 9, Roger Warren.
He is requesting to rezone the 6.02 acres from A1 to AR to bring the property into compliance with zoning regulations and to allow a second home on the property for his son as an accessory dwelling unit. Property is located at 278 Bridlewood Trail in Hull on map 14, parcel 72-01 in District 1.
All right, tell us what you want us to know.
Nothing much newer than what Tracy's read there. Just as I retired in age, things started to break down and muddy. My son wanted to be on the property, kind of help take care of the property as we trying to create a little mini farm there for self-reliance for our family and just help out with the things that I'm starting not to be able to do.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else?
I think so. It does, like she said, it does, since the May 1st change, it does bring our property into current compliance once it changed to AR.
Right. You're legal non-conforming at this point, that you want to bring to conformity.
Correct.
All right, we will open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wants to speak in favor of this particular rezone request? Hearing none, is there anyone who wants to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll bring it back to the board for additional comments and a motion and any questions for Mr. Warren at this point.
You want a motion?
Well, I'm waiting to see if anybody's got any questions or comments. Not, we'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve as requested.
Have a motion by Cynthia. Second by Kenneth. Any additional comments or questions? All right, we vote. Mr. Getty?
Yes.
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 All right, Mr. Warren, we will recommend approval to the Board of Commissioners on October 2nd. Suggest that you or some of your representatives be here in case there's questions that I can't answer.
That will be done.
Right?
Thank you very much.
Is there anything else that needs to come before the P&Z tonight? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
Move to second that we adjourn. All in favor? You are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Honey, I don't remember that. I've already told y'all that land.